Good evening, college football fans, and welcome into this update for college football. Tonight we're going over your update for Week 10 of the college football season. We started off with Georgia Tech playing Virginia Tech on Thursday night. Interesting fact about this game, the winner of this game has gone on to win the Central Division in the ACC the last 5 years, and has gone on to win the ACC Conference Championship game the last 3 years. So a lot at stake in this game. Game starts off with Georgia Tech going up to an early 14-0 lead. However, late in the first half, the Georgia Tech quarterback Nesbitt breaks his right forearm on a tackle after an interception he threw, goes out of the game. Virginia Tech comes back, goes up 21-14. Georgia Tech manages a drive late in the fourth quarter in order to bring them back, tie the game up. Well, with just over 2 minutes left, rookie phenom David Wilson runs back the kickoff for a 90-yard touchdown, ends up sealing the fate of Georgia Tech. 28-21, Virginia Tech wins. On to Saturday in college football, TCU versus number 5 Utah was obviously a game that everybody was looking for this week. Ends up being no contest as the Horned Frogs roll 47-7 in Utah. Stat for that game, Dalton, the quarterback for number 3 TCU, goes 21 of 26, 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. Looking at another non-BCS conference team, number 4 Boise State, they take care of Hawaii in a WAC matchup as Kellen Moore makes his claim for the Heisman, going for 507 yards on 30 of 37 passing for 3 touchdowns. Obviously, looking at the BCS conference, you have number 1 Oregon, who takes care of a Jake Locker-less Washington, beating them 53-16. And Auburn taking care of Chattanooga 62-24. Cam Newton in that game goes 15 of 21 for 317 yards and 4 touchdowns. Great job making his state for the Heisman there. Other news, Oklahoma State absolutely dismantled Baylor 55-28. Michigan State takes down Minnesota 31-8. The Gophers are winless in the Big Ten still. Arkansas takes care of 1 rank lower South Carolina 41-20, and another game of the week that looked to be interesting, Stanford Arizona, ends up being no contest as Stanford wins 42-17 on the day where Andrew Luck goes 23 of 32 for 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. Getting back into the top 10, Nebraska survives a scare from Iowa State as Iowa State rallies from a 14-point deficit, ties it up, sends the game into overtime, manages to score a touchdown in overtime, and feeling lucky trying to go for back-to-back wins against Nebraska, opts for a fake extra point. The pass, though, is intercepted by Nebraska. Game ends with a final score 31-30, Nebraska over Iowa State. Now, of course, it would not be college football without upsets, and the upset of the week has to be LSU taking down number 6 Alabama 24-21. The key play of this game is whenever LSU opted not to kick a field goal midway through the fourth quarter and instead ran a 23-yard reverse that resulted in a first down, ultimately a touchdown. And something that's getting overlooked here is the fact that they go for the 2-point conversion, convert it to put themselves up 21-14, tack on a field goal. Alabama looks to catch up late as Greg McElroy hooks up with Julio Jones, but the Tigers outlast Alabama and their old coach Nick Saban, winning 24-21. Losing this game all but eliminates Alabama's hopes at repeating as a national champion this year. To the Big 12 for a couple of upsets. Texas Tech beats number 12 Missouri in Lubbock 24-17 on a good fourth quarter by them. And of course you have the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies coming back and snapping a 7-game losing streak against the University of Oklahoma. They roll the Sooners 33-17 in College Station. The new quarterback down in Aggie land, Tannehill, goes 19 for 32, 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. And here's a key stat about why he is making a difference in College Station over Gerard Johnson. So far in the 2.5 games that he has started, he has 854 yards, 9 touchdowns, and the key stat, only 3 interceptions. Great stat for him. On to a couple of what you would consider traditional powers not ranked in the top 25. Michigan goes to a 3-overtime thriller against Illinois and is able to outlast them 67-65. What a shootout up there in the Big Ten. Miami beats Maryland 26-20 by making a score in the fourth quarter with Ja'Cory Harris out with a concussion. So they will be looking to have him back and get back into that ACC race. Florida rolls over Vanderbilt 55-14, and of course, since we are broadcasting live here in Austin, Texas, we have to wrap up with the Texas-Kansas State game. Ended up being no contest as Kansas State literally runs all over Texas, not even completing a pass in the first half. Garrett Gilbert throws 5 interceptions and a loss to Kansas State 39-14. And the final note of our broadcast, we'd like to say congratulations to Joe Paterno, who with a 35-21 win over Northwestern on Saturday becomes the first major college football coach with 400 wins. Great job, Joe Pa. Keep kicking. Well, hopefully this will become more of a week-long thing. Check back in next week with our Week 11 recap of the season. I'm Garrett Green. Good night and hook 'em.